I put it on just for you. Hey, everybody, this is Teacher on the Radio, and this is a pre-recorded segment of our episode that's going to air on Saturday, February the 7th, 2026. I think that'll be episode 518. And this is a reunion of sorts. My friend Farmer Scot, Quaker Scot, member of the Society of Friends, former running buddy from the streets of the Corridor neighborhood in Detroit, Michigan, right around the old Cass Cafe, 404 Willis, and other points of we've passed the statute of limitations all over Detroit in the late 80s and early 90s. This is also a reunion when Scot visited Tennessee Tech a few years ago as a guest speaker in the Learning Village to talk about his journey from crackhead to Christhead. I think it was something we came up with some crazy title. I think it was from crackhead to Christ, and then we're co-hosts of shows on Radio Free Detroit in the early days. Welcome to Teacher on the Radio, Farmer Scot.
I'm a little light-skinned to be a Christhead. I don't know.
Hey, anyway, so let's just I'm going to skip past your origin story right now and go right to the present because the occasion we hadn't talked in a few days. I'm also a grandpa, by the way, three grandchildren. So all about the grandkids. Let's skip past the past and get right into the present because you reached out to me a few weeks ago because you are really trying to get community involvement in your farmstead, and you've been doing a sustainability meat farm, like DIY meat farming, sustainable food production in Western Michigan, West Central Michigan for a decade or more. So why don't we tell me about the farming life in rural Michigan and what your community farming interest is that you like to find collaborators and maybe even patrons for. Tell us a little bit about the farm life and what you all do there.
Okay, so the big thing about the farm is that the most doable exhortation by Jesus in the Greek Testament is that we feed the hungry, visit the prisoner, and clothe the naked. And so one of the things we do with the farm, I've worked substance abuse groups in prison for a while, and that was falling under visiting the prisoner. We donate our clothes to Amish communities because we're a plain Quaker family. But feeding people, feeding the hungry seemed to be most important, and it seemed to be the most important thing about farming. And so what has happened here is we've been giving so much away and spending so much of our own money that we had to start asking for some help. But it's not just asking for help, it's making us more available because we're going to get some USDA kitchen stuff and a processing building that's already half finished. We're doing raw milk shares and pork. We do a number of animals, but this year and part of last year, we're trying something different, and that's called intensive paddock grazing. So we're splitting our 12 acres up into 16 different paddocks, and you go heavy grazing over with the cows, and then you follow with the hogs that till everything up. And then right behind that we've got a mobile chicken house, and so the chickens will fertilize that. And this year we're going to plant alfalfa and some kind of clover. And then next year, the whole process starts again, and it builds up not only a good pasture, but when the cows graze, Andrew, they help eliminate invasive species, and they promote the growth of native species. And so we're going to put that to the test because I don't know how that works, but I want to find out. So we've got a vernal pond in the back of the property, and what's going to happen is we're going to clear that out. We got to clear the canopy, and we'll use that wood to make hopefully a new meeting house that we're going to have here. And then as far as that seasonal pond, if we're going to make, square foot segments, and we're going to do counts of invasive species before and after grazing, what's visible, how much gets eaten down, how much grass grows with the cleared canopy. And then at the end of the year, at the end of the growing season, and then next spring again, we'll compare what's actually growing there, where we might need to create more light, and what the grass looks like, because pasture is getting eaten up everywhere by housing developments, and dairy farms are getting eaten up by a lot of them are being bought by the Netherlands, and so there are no more family farms to speak of that are remotely profitable. It's just a big debt investment. All my kids grew up on the farm.
So we have a couple of small farm activities going on around here. We've got a very rich farmers market community. There's actually a young farmer I know called Anthony that I feel like he should be on this call with you, and introduce you to his spouse, who runs something called the Farmers Land Trust, and they're trying to get land for people who are maybe from different demographics, like young farmers of color and things of this nature. I'll put you in touch with her, Christy and Anthony Villa. But when people go to the store and they buy their burgers and their bacon, they're not really thinking about all these things. So how many hogs do you have? How many cows do you have? How many chickens do you have? How much of these critters are there residing at your place?
Okay, so let's start with the chickens, about 100 layers. And then we'll do 100 broilers, but this year we're doing it differently. And instead of giving chicken to people,
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Hello.
Scott? Shit.
Is not available.